What is going on today, guys? Long time no see. Welcome back to the channel and today's video. I need to update you guys. So we got the A-OK from Zach over at Counterspace Garage that we are all set, done tuning on the full-blown turbo kit, and we should be all ready to test it out. As you can see, our manner in which we're testing it out today is definitely a little bit strange, but we're just gonna throw it on track and literally see how it goes. Just so you guys understand, like on a base level where we are right now, we're 7 psi on a 2871R Garrett turbo on the full-blown turbo kit, stock injectors, stock fuel pump, stock radiator, slim fans, and that's pretty much about it. Besides that, we have the same exhaust setup that we had prior, so that's it. We have a very stock turbo-ish FRS going on right now, and we kind of need to see like what the challenges are going to be. And I can pretty much guarantee already the biggest challenge is going to be the heat, if you can't tell from my face. So we're just going to take it a step at a time, enjoy the event, which is a JZX meetup as well. So there's some pretty dope ass cars here as well that we're going to check out later on. Guys, we are officially going out on our first turbo drift session in the FRS. This is very, very exciting, and I must admit, very nerve-wracking. I was just talking to a buddy of mine, and I was telling him, like, this reminds me of you know, like the first times I was drifting, the very first events. It's definitely that kind of anxiety.
First turbo laps.
First turbo lap.
Crossing my fingers here. First lap, that was great. Hit 240. It's pretty hot.
How was that?
It's been fucking fun.
Good?
How's it looking?
Great.
Alright?
Yeah,
okay.
It looks super solid.
Does it sound cool?
Sounds similar.
Okay, cool.
It has a little...
Yeah, it still has that the equal length screen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Still does scream a little bit.
No.
clutch overheating. Pretty damn sure. It was not liking that too much. That might not have been the clutch. Now after doing that little pull back there, I don't know. I might have just been, I'll have to review the footage or see if I can see how far down in the RPM I was. Maybe I was just bogging out that hard. It's also very possible. So we'll see. All right, guys, we are heading into our second session. And what we're gonna be doing here is like right off the rip, we're gonna be like pretty much driving as normal as possible to try to see if there really is a clutch issue or if it was just something wrong with my driving that I could improve on. So one or the other, right? Definitely not a clutch issue. I think it's a me issue, and also that back section is very it's very grippy at the moment. All right, guys, so we actually gripped down from that last lap. We're down to 34 psi, mostly on Chase's recommendation. He's saying the car just looks really loose, and it definitely feels loose. So we're adding a little bit of grip. The temperatures are doing a little bit better, but we did have a short break, and it is a little bit cooler than it was earlier. So,
Sir, no passengers.
No, but come on,
no passengers.
You're a subscriber too, though, so you're kind of a passenger. So say hi. Yeah.
We're all passengers.
Yeah, exactly right. I'm carrying too many passengers. Did feel way better, gripped up a little bit. So big thank you to Chase for that recommendation. Holy shit, that was really good. That felt really good. Might be my clutch I smell. All right, guys, so the very first fatality of the FA20, or at least in my experience with it. It looks like we fucking threw a belt and it kind of got chewed up a lot of different places. Luckily, ow, everything is still so hot. But yeah, I did a number on the belt. It looks like it might have slipped potentially, maybe on a run. Yeah, so this is where we're at now. Luckily Chase is here. He's gonna help me go to the store, grab a new belt. I'm hopefully gonna push this thing as far as I can closer to my tools. And yeah, looks like I'll be spending the evening trying to fix this. All right guys, that was an adventure and a half, and unfortunately I didn't get to film it, but we literally, Chase and I, closed the gap. We fixed the belt literally off the side of the road, you know, where I broke down. And as you can see, quite a lot of splatter in different areas where it literally died on us. But other than that, looks like it's running okay. The belt looks like it's on point now. I mean, that's as good as it looked when I installed it initially when we were doing the turbo kit. So we're all done. All in all, a decently successful event. Although we did break something finally for the first time that shut down the car. All in all, I think it performed really, really well, given that a lot of the car is still stock. So from here, we're gonna build on it. This is a really, really sick event for me. I had a lot of fun, even though this is probably the least amount of laps I've ever pulled at an event. It was the most amount of fun just trying out a car that I pretty much built myself, along with the help of tons of really great people like Treadstone, Brake Bank. Like, this car is running really, really well, besides the whole belt thing. So don't buy Duralast belts, buy expensive belts, I guess. I'm gonna have to figure out which one. And that's about it. Other than that, she ran really, really good. All right, guys, that is going to be it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I didn't really finish my outro there because I got stage fright, as there was about 200 drag racers exiting the facility behind me. But before we close the video, I just wanted to go over, you know, some of my experiences with taking a very, very stock turbo-ish FRS out to the track for the first time and just winging it. So I'm just gonna go over a couple positives, couple negatives, and it's gonna lead into where we're going with the car. So the good part, the power is pretty sick. Like, it's by no means, this is not a Hellcat or anything like that, but this car was never intended to have the power that it currently has. And the way that it's moving, frankly, I'm just very happy with it. As I mentioned earlier in the video, this is 7 PSI on pump gas, so this is effectively the lowest setting of this turbo package, and I am not disappointed whatsoever. Another really cool positive, I feel like, is that I didn't just knock it out of the park with my driving, and that doesn't sound like it should be a positive, but it means there's a lot more to learn with this package and just learning how to drive a turbo car. There were some things that definitely surprised me in terms of the power band, and I kind of had to adapt to it and kind of try and do my best to just learn it while I completed laps. But I gotta say, it's a whole new experience, and that's just a really cool thing and a really positive thing to take away, that there's more to do in this conquest of drifting the living piss out of the FRS, because I just love driving it. It's one of the best cars, or it is the best car I've ever owned personally. So now let's get into some of the negatives of the best car that I've ever owned. And that is going to be the heat is absolutely ridiculous once you go turbo. As you can see with one of the laps where we shut down in the last corner, I'm pretty sure after some research that that was due to some kind of power cut from how high we were getting in the temperatures. I did see at one point 250 water temp, and the oil temp was right behind it. Now, although that's not the highest I've ever seen on the forums or anything like that, that is really, really up there. So we are going to be adjusting that with a new radiator with a shroud, so we can actually get some proper cooling in this thing. So the only other negative besides the whole, you know, belt issue, which I still don't know how that happened, but you know, as we can see here, it's being melted in front of our eyes. But beyond that, the only real issues, which I think are pretty minor, are we're running out of second gear with a quickness. Now, that's not anything out of the ordinary. It's completely expected. Every single turbo 8.6 owner that I know who drives at OSW has gearing considerations, or they're thinking about different gearing, or they're moving to different gearing because the stock gearing just really isn't it for the skid pad. So that is something we will potentially address in the future. Now, lastly, kind of a minor thing, but a really big annoyance for me was the Ecutech Bluetooth app was not as good as I thought it was going to be. I was using it the entire time in place of putting, actual analog gauges in the car, and it did work for a good amount of the time, but then there was also the times where it wasn't working and it kept disconnecting itself from the car. And sometimes that's not a big deal, but right at the end of your run, when you want to check, do I need to cool off, do I need to get out of line, do I need to drive down the street to get some air going, it's just a really crappy, annoying thing to deal with. So I'll say it's not as reliable as I imagined it would have been, since it is kind of a you pay extra to have this feature, but the feature doesn't necessarily work. So a little disappointed there. We might have to clutter up the dash with some analog gauges, which I really don't want to do, but if I have to do it, I have to do it. So that's gonna be it, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this adventure, and I really hope you tag along in the adventures to come as we kind of sort out some of the issues that we faced in this first event. First off, definitely the cooling, and along with that, we are going to be fixing or addressing some of the belt issues that we saw. That's going to be it for this one, guys. I will catch you on the next one. Peace out.